1220 and 103.7 FM KOFO.
KOFO, your sports source for East Central Kansas and home of Ottawa University Braves Athletics, welcomes you to the Nick Davis Coaches Show, live from Primetime Grill at Fusion Alley in South Ottawa. It's time for our weekly chat with the Braves head football coach and your chance to join us live at Primetime Grill for burgers, salads, steaks, drinks, and more. Enjoy their delicious Kansas cuisine while we share the next hour with Coach Davis and OU Braves football. The Nick Davis Coaches Show is brought to you by Primetime Grill at 2204 South Princeton Circle Drive in South Ottawa, and by Ottawa University. Now let's join our host, KOFO's Casey Weeder.
Welcome in to the Nick Davis Coaches Show, live from Primetime Grill in Ottawa. I'm Casey Weeder, shortly joined by head coach Nick Davis as we talk about a loss for the Braves on Saturday as they battled with number 8 Southwestern College, a 29-6 defeat. Braves got out to a 6-2 lead at halftime. Southwestern, though, in the second half, scoring 27 straight. But this scoreline does not tell how close this game was, as we're going to bring you some highlights here to start the show tonight, as we will have, as we'll take a look. Braves got off to a really good start on their first play from scrimmage as Austin Zavala connected with Gunnar Madiri.
Braves with 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. So we'll see a 3-3 setup here for Southwestern. They're going to give a fake the handoff, find Gunnar Madiri in the flat, and he'll pick up 8 or 9 as he's dragging defenders. On the tackle for Southwestern will be Riley Havard, and that'll be enough for an OU first down as he picks up 11. He gets all the way out to the 36-yard line.
Braves would go on a 6-play, 31-yard drive that went for 3 minutes and 44 seconds. Did result in a punt, but that first half, Ottawa really controlled the tempo of the game as they were able to have 3 drives of over 10 plays. The next big play for us, Jared Daniels making an electric start to his time at OU.
2 receivers to the left. They'll send a receiver in motion. That's Ontario White. They'll hand it off to Daniels. There's a little bit of a hole for him. He gets by one defender, hurdles a defender as he's forced out of bounds around the 27-yard line.
Daniels again on that drive as he would get another really good run in that first quarter.
Pistol look. They're going to send Ziegler in motion. Going to hand it off. That's going to go to Daniels. He's got some room. He's down the sidelines. He's still running and steps out of bounds near the 50-yard line.
That drive would result in 11 plays, 38 yards in 5 minutes and 24 seconds. Ottawa would actually get on the board on a field goal from Lewis McMullen as Ottawa led 3-0. Really the star of that first half, though, the Ottawa defense, as they held Southwestern's offense that averaged almost 40 points per game to just 2 points in that first half. There were 6 drives, 2 punts, 2 turnover on downs, and a fumble as we take a look at that first big stop for Ottawa defensively.
From the OU 48, receiver in motion. They are going to run the play. Barnes to the right side. That pass is incomplete. No flag comes out. Looking for one was Keyshawn Jones, and Ottawa gets a defensive stop.
We mentioned that 31-yard field goal for freshman Lewis McMullen. We'll listen to it right here.
They'll spot it at the 21-yard line, so a 31-yard field goal attempt from the right hash for McMullen. Out of the hold from Gilbert. Good snap. Kick is up, and it is good. As Ottawa takes a 3-0 lead on the 31-yard field goal from Lewis McMullen.
We mentioned that defense that held Southwestern to just 2 points in that first half, and they capped it off with another turnover on downs.
And might see a little wildcat look here. No, they're actually, there's Barnes under center. He's going to have Coleman right behind him on 4th and goal from the OU 2. Coleman in more of a fullback look here, just right behind Barnes. They're going to hand it to him. Coleman drives. He's into, wait to see from the officials. He slipped in the backfield. The officials say the one on the far sideline is marking it short of the end zone. I think Ottawa stuffed him. And this is another decision. He slipped in the backfield and did not fall forward, but we'll wait for the officials to make the signal. Official on the far side started signaling with his hands, waving them back and forth. And now the referee has hopped in there. Still no signal. Yeah, they're going to mark this short. Ottawa's got the football as they've turned over Southwestern on downs for the second time.
That Braves defense as Southwestern started a drive deep in their own territory, were able to force their first turnover of the season.
1st and 15 for Barnes. He's got a running back to his right. He's getting pressured, rolls out, throws back across the field, finds his tight end Hoffman. Reynolds is there but gets run over, still driving on Kevin Wade. Big hit, ball's loose. Did Ottawa pick it up?
They did.
They did on the forced fumble. And Ottawa will have it at the Southwestern 29-yard line.
The freshman Lewis McMullen would hit from 48 yards, as that is the 5th longest field goal in Ottawa University Braves history.
Out of the hold of Adam Gilbert, Kalen Kemp will snap. 38-yard attempt. Does have a little bit of wind at his back. Good snap. The kick is up. Does it have the distance? It does. Lewis McMullen buries it from 48 yards out with 20 seconds remaining in the first half.
Southwestern quarterback Luke Barnes threw 2 interceptions all last season as the Braves ended up picking him off twice. Here's the first one.
Builder's going to go quick. Barnes looking left. Dropping back, no pressure, goes to the back of the end zone. It's picked off. Reynolds gets the interception. Reynolds brings it out near the 10, and it's going to be forced out of bounds at the 10-yard line.
Scott Reynolds would finish the game with 7 tackles, 1 pass breakup, and 1 interception. Samad Ali had that second interception in the third quarter. We're going to go ahead and take a break, and when we come back, we'll chat with head coach Nick Davis as you're listening to the Nick Davis Coaches Show live from Primetime Grill.
I shouldn't have to tell you this, but the big game isn't nearly as much fun when you have to watch it on a small screen. So make a play for Ottawa's Primetime Grill. With more than 40 screens, dozens of meal options, and a full-service bar, it's the place to be, from the first pitch to the last call. And you don't have to watch alone. Check out the party rooms at Primetime Grill that you can combine and hold as many as 100 hungry fans. Take a time out from that small screen you're watching now and check out primetimegrill.com for room rental and package details. For game time, it's prime time. We're at Ottawa University on registration day for new students, asking them why they chose to attend OU.
I'm excited to meet everybody, get to know a lot of new people, and just enjoy college, have fun. It just feels like home, small campus.
I liked the atmosphere here. It wasn't too big of a college, and that's what I was wanting. So I feel like Ottawa was a great spot for me.
Find out if Ottawa University is a good place for you. Visit online at ottawa.edu. Ottawa University. Prepare for a lifetime of significance.
What you've heard about probiotics is probably wrong.
I eat yogurt, so I don't need to take a probiotic.
Probiotics? They don't really work. It's time to learn the truth about probiotics and join the Align Healthy Gut Team Up. Align has probiotics to naturally help relieve occasional bloating, gas, and abdominal discomfort. Try Align probiotics for a month and see how great a healthy gut can feel. Get $2 off your first month of Align at alignprobiotics.com.
The roar of our engines, the pump of our heartbeats, the pedal to our metal, the sparks that ignite us, the pistons that push us, the passions that drive us. From the feelings that move us to the places that pull us on the roads that unite us. With nearly 6,000 stores and over 17,000 auto care centers, Napa has America's largest network of parts and care, here to keep you firing on all cylinders.
The KOFO Travel Club is heading to Branson for a weekend getaway, December 2nd through the 4th. Crossroad Tours will make pickups in Ottawa and Lewisburg, then head to Branson for an Ozark Mountain Christmas. Check into the Grand Oaks Hotel and enjoy a 3-day whirlwind of shows, shopping, dining, and more. Per person pricing is $589 for a double, $669 for a single, with triple and quad options available. The tour includes round-trip transportation, 2 nights hotel, 5 meals, drive-through light display, shopping at Branson Craft Mall, Branson Landing, Osceola Cheese, the Amish Trading Post, and the driver gratuity. And the shows. You'll see Clay Cooper Christmas Show, 6, the Brett Family Christmas Show, and the Shepherd of the Hills Christmas Show. Insurance is available. Your 50% deposit is due September 20th, so call 785-242-1220 or email kofo@kofo.com to reserve your spot.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. I came out in the 11th grade. Nobody was embracing you. The kids were cruel. It was very difficult to be gay. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
The hard part was determining that I was going to do it, but I definitely didn't do it alone.
At age 30, with the help of her mentor, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
I have a mentor, Maria. She convinced me to continue my education and to finish what I started to get my diploma. Just never judges. She's a true role model. If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, go get it. You can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
You're listening to the Nick Davis Coaches Show on KOFO, live from our sponsor location, Primetime Grill. Now, back to the show. Here's your host, Casey Weeder.
And we're back in the Nick Davis Coaches Show, live from Primetime Grills. We'll bring in the head coach, Nick Davis, to discuss that game on Saturday against the number 8 ranked team in the country. And, Coach, what an environment, first off. I mean, going into a night, we talked about a little bit on Thursday last week. We know for night games at OU, it's just a little bit different. Packed house for your guys Saturday. In that first half, it was electric.
No, it was a great crowd. We had a great support from alumni, the university, parents, friends and family. I had several family members in the area as well, and I know these coaches had some family in town, so it was a great environment. We got the helmet out, the smoke machine, and I know the fireworks are coming at some point, so it was a lot of fun, man, and there was a lot of energy in Ottawa, Kansas last Saturday night.
Your defense, tremendous, especially in that first half. I mean, really did not allow Southwestern to go on really any long drives, forced a couple turnovers. I mean, talk about what Luke Barnes all last year just had 2 interceptions the entire season. Your defense picked him off twice on Saturday night.
Yeah, they got put in a bad situation. The ref made a bad call. They clarified it. He was wrong the whole time. It was Southwestern's ball. But that emotion of, hey, we got a fumble recovery at the 1-yard line, and they're running off, and the offense is getting ready to go in, and we're all excited, and the ref says, oh, no, I made a mistake. For our defense to go back out on the field and stop them the next 2 plays and get the turnover on downs was huge, and that brought a lot of energy to the crowd. The defense was flying around, creating takeaways, as I like to call it, on the defense side of the ball, and tackling, and did a really nice job on an offense that's super explosive. And, Coach Barty had his work cut out for him because all those receivers were great. They had a good running game and one of the best quarterbacks in the country.
Well, even with that, only 305 yards of total offense for Southwestern, over 400 a year ago. And I know that's a team that is going to be tough to beat the rest of the way in the KCAC. And, going into half up 6-2, your freshman comes out and knocks in a 31-yarder, followed up by a 48-yarder to end the first half. That's a lot to put on a freshman. I was in that spot once, and he rose to the occasion with Lewis McMullen.
Yeah, luckily I probably didn't know it was 48 yards, Casey, or I may not have kicked it. I looked, talked to Coach Hennis, and I was like, should we kick it here? And he's like, I'm like, let's go. At that situation, it's 3-2. You're running out of time. You may not even get in the position to score a touchdown there. And I believe we were 4th and long. So, why not, man? We've seen him kick 60-yarders on Twitter and Instagram over the summer. So let's put him out there. And, 5th longest field goal in school history, which with 20 seconds left, that was pretty excited going into the break, and we felt like we missed opportunities. And we could have had more points going into the break. But a 6-2 lead was nice going into halftime after, the results from, last year going into halftime.
One thing that really was evident in that first half is even though the offense wasn't scoring, had some long, sustained drives. You had 6 plays, 7 plays, 11 plays, and really kept their offense off the field and were able to convert on I know 3rd down ended up 2 of 16, but overall on 1st and 2nd down, we're picking up good chunks of yardage in that first half.
Yeah, and some people lose fact. We were, in that first half, we were 3 of 4 on 4th down,
yes.
Which, makes an offensive coach feel a little better. But still, like, we were in situations. It wasn't like it's 3rd and 7, we got to 4th and 2. We were 3rd and 2, and we were picking it up on 4th and 1. So, you'd like to execute at a little higher level. What an offensive coach wants when you have 3rd down is 3rd and short. And we had plenty of those, and we just didn't execute the way that we needed to. in those situations, it was almost like I was teasing with Coach Hennis that we should have just been 3rd and 10, in those situations, which you don't normally want as a coach, but maybe we would have been more successful, and we had a good plan. They had a really good defense that was stingy and played hard, and, they were doing the same thing on 4th down and 3rd and short. They were getting stopped as well.
As you look at the second half, Southwestern does come out and score 27 straight. They scored 14 on their first 2 drives of the second half. What was it that they might have done a little bit differently, or was it just maybe a little bit of the, just that experience that kind of stood out a little bit in the second half?
Yeah, they were probably pretty torqued off. They were losing, being the number 8 team in the country, and they came out and, drove the ball down the field, got it to their big 6'6" tight end on a 21-yard pass. Luckily, I think that's the last time we're going to play him because I think he's out of eligibility. And, the next drive, we're actually driving it down the field. We're down to the 18-yard line and scoring situation, and we throw the 82-yard interception, which was, I think, huge in that sense because we're in the situation where we could potentially get points on that drive. And we walk away, instead of scoring and going up, we walk away going down 10 points. And then obviously, we try to make something happen. We got down there. We missed the 48-yard field goal by an inch. I told Louis he needed to eat his, more protein. And, missed it by an inch. And instead of going down 7 points there, they turn around and score, and now you're kind of in, we need 3 touchdowns to come back, and you're in the situation where, normally we wouldn't be going for it on some of those 4th downs where, being a defensive-minded head coach, like I know we put Coach Barty in some bad situations, but you also want, as a defensive coordinator, your team to try to win the football game. So in those situations, we're going for it on 4th down there in the 4th quarter and not converting in the 4th quarter on 4th downs. And, they tack on one more score to, make it maybe a little bit more lopsided than what the true game was.
Yeah, it was really more like a 19-6 game. Had the one safety, which in that case actually worked out okay because Brett Turner was tremendous kicking off on Saturday, had a touchback. That one went all the way down to the 10. I think he only returned it out to the 35 or 40, and then they ended up punting on that next drive. So even though it sailed over the punter's head, only resulted in 2 points, and it was I talked to a lot of people afterwards. It was really a 2-score game throughout much of the evening after that.
Yeah, one might say that I planned that safety,
Okay.
For the dramatic. And as soon as it happened, I said, you know what, we might be in a better situation. Obviously, you don't want to give up points, but we were going to be in a better situation. It ended up working out, instead of punting the ball and getting the ball at the 50, Coach Barty had a little bit better field position, and they went and stopped him, which was awesome.
And with that feeling of being just kind of I really felt like a 1 to 2 possession game all night, what was kind of your message to your team at the end of that, after the end of the game? It was emotional, home opener, start of the season, but you've got to turn around and take on a really good Avila team on Saturday.
Yeah, it was about just taking care of, everyone in the family and, telling them we were proud of them and I loved them and they fought hard. And those were things that I heard after the game of how hard we played. And, as a losing coach, you don't necessarily – you like that, but that's not what you want. You don't want the second place trophy, but it is nice to know that people noticed that we were playing hard and just that we still have to come together. That's the first chapter of our book, and we have 9 more chapters. And constantly telling those guys, Southwestern, they lost to Bethel week 5 last season, and they didn't, quit on their season. They went up to K-Dub and beat them and allowed them to go to playoffs. So just harping on those guys that isn't the best that we've have left in our tank. A true John Gordon quote there, and continue to get better and better each week.
We'll go ahead and take our second break of the night. When we come back, we talk with offensive coordinator Tyler Hennis and defensive coordinator Dante Barty. You're listening to the Nick Davis Coaches Show on 1220 and 103.7 FM KOFO.
There's no better way to support your favorite teams at Ottawa University than by showing up wearing Braves apparel from the OU Fan Shop. This is Taylor from the OU softball team inviting you to get your t-shirts, hoodies, jackets, jerseys, and more at the OU Fan Shop. Located in the Gibson Student Center on campus, the Fan Shop is open from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday. And if you can't make it to campus, you can still order online at ottawabraves.com and be the best dressed member of Braves Nation. Thank you for supporting OU Brave Sports.
Ottawa University. Prepare for a lifetime of significance. I shouldn't have to tell you this, but the big game isn't nearly as much fun when you have to watch it on a small screen. So make a play for Ottawa's Primetime Grill. With more than 40 screens, dozens of meal options, and a full-service bar, it's the place to be, from the first pitch to the last call. And you don't have to watch alone. Check out the party rooms at Primetime Grill that you can combine and hold as many as 100 hungry fans. Take a time out from that small screen you're watching now and check out primetimegrill.com for room rental and package details. For game time, it's prime time.
My brother-in-law died suddenly, and now my sister and her kids have to sell their home. That's why I told my husband we could not put off getting life insurance any longer. An agent offered us a 10-year, $500,000 policy for nearly $50 a month. Then we called SelectQuote. SelectQuote found us identical coverage for only $19 a month, a savings of $369 a year.
Whether you need a $500,000 policy or a $5 million policy, SelectQuote could save you more than 50% on term life insurance.
For your free quote, call SelectQuote at 1-800-452-5050. That's 1-800-452-5050. Or go to SelectQuote.com. 1-800-452-5050. That's 1-800-452-5050.
SelectQuote. We shop. You save. Full details on example policies at selectquote.com/commercials.
KOFO and Kansas State Bank want to give you the cash, the money, the do-re-mi. Count the Cash is back, and it's your chance to win $1,000. Stop by Kansas State Bank at 236 North Main during regular business hours and see the KOFO Cash Cube. It's full of cash and coin, and all you have to do is guess just how much. Money for nothing. If your guess is closest to the actual amount in the cube, we'll give you $1,000 at the Kansas State Bank Community Appreciation Day on October 22nd. One entry per person at Kansas State Bank, and you must be 18 or over to win KOFO's Count the Cash.
When you have an emergency, who do you call? 911. What do you do if you're unable to speak during your emergency? You text to 911. Franklin County Emergency Communications Center has recently added text to 911 technology as part of the new 911 phone system. Cell phone users can use their phone messaging system to text 911 to contact local dispatch. Phones must have a text or data plan in order to use this service, and phones in roaming mode, text apps, or apps messaging services cannot use this feature. It is important to note, dispatch is unable to determine your location while using this service, so always know your location and include that in your initial text. Remember, if you're able to place a voice call, we're able to help you more quickly. But in the event you are unable to speak, text to 911 will still allow us to get the information we need. Call if you can, text if you can't. For more information, go to kansas911.org or 911.gov. This message has been brought to you by the Franklin County Emergency Communications Center and KOFO.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting. A teenager. Learning the lingo.
Today I'm going to help parents translate teen slang. Now, when a teen says something is on fleek, it's exactly like saying, that's rad. It simply means that something is awesome or cool. Another one is totes. It's exactly like saying, totally, just shorter. As in, I totes love going to the mall with Becca. Another word you might hear is jelly. Jelly is a shorter, better way to say jealous. As in, Chloe, I am like so jelly of your unicorn phone case.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will think you're, rad just the same. To learn more, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
You're listening to the Nick Davis Coaches Show on KOFO, live from our sponsor location, Primetime Grill. Now, back to the show. Here's your host, Casey Weeder.
Welcome back to the Nick Davis Coaches Show, live from Primetime Grill. We're going to bring on the two coordinators here at OU, and Tyler Hennis for the offensive side, and Dante Barty on the defensive. Coaches, appreciate you joining us tonight.
Thanks for having us.
So we're going to jump right into it here, and I know y'all have talked with Bob Johnson on the Football Family and Friends podcast already, and have told a little bit about your story, but for Braves fans that are kind of tuning in for the first time, we'll start with Dante. Just walk us through, kind of your journey as you came to OU, and then your philosophy as a defensive coordinator.
Yeah, so my journey started when I was about 17 years old. I coached high school football at a place called Perry High School, which is in Gilbert, Arizona. I got a brain injury playing football many years ago as a freshman, and I fell in love with coaching. So I coached there. I got the opportunity to be a defensive coordinator there. My head coaches, Preston Jones and Todd Rogers, put a lot of faith in me. So I was a coordinator there for 3 years while I went to Arizona State University. From there, I went to my first college job at a place called Upper Iowa University, where I was a linebackers position coach. From there, I went to Cal Berkeley. I was GA at Cal for 2 years, one as D-line, the next as linebackers. One as linebackers, the next as D-line. And then I went to Southern Miss, the University of Southern Miss in Hattiesburg, Mississippi. In Hattiesburg, I was the defensive QC. I wore a lot of different hats, worked with linebackers, D-line, kind of did everything in that regard. And now I'm the defense coordinator here at Ottawa. Philosophically, as a defensive coordinator, I think about the reason I came to football personally was there are 22 permutations of things, 11-inch team, of things that can happen on a football field, which strategically really intrigues me. And the pedagogies, ways of teaching, ways of getting players to do something at a high level and to execute something that is very challenging in a very stressful environment is something I really, really enjoy. And seeing on the players' faces the ability to do that as a team works in so many ways, not only on the football field but in life. And I really, really enjoy that task of teaching at a high level. So,
Dante, you've been at the Division I level at some schools prior. How has your experience been? Coming to an NAIA program, and I mean, football is football, no matter the division. But tell me just kind of your first impressions over the first few weeks here at OU.
It's been fantastic, really. One of the things I came to OU for was Coach Davis has done a great job creating a positive environment where both players, fans, and coaches not only feel welcome, they feel like they're in a good environment. And they feel like they're loved and cherished and valued. And I feel that way being at OU. Coach Davis has done a great job of letting us as coordinators kind of run things how we want to, right? And so I've been at that opportunity to kind of run the defense how I want to run it, good, bad, and different. He's been a great mentor to me. And just the environment in general has been a great opportunity for me. And it allows me to kind of grow as a leader, grow as not only a student of the game, but as an organizer, a manager of people. I've really enjoyed it.
Coach Ennis, we'll move on to you. Just tell us a little bit about kind of your journey as you came to Ottawa.
I started coaching straight after college. I went to my alma mater, Independence Community College, started coaching there, and then bounced around to Delta State, Mississippi, to Missouri at Southeast Missouri State, and then back to Emporia State, where I graduated with a bachelor's degree, and then down to Louisiana, Southeastern Louisiana, and then up to Dodge City Community College, back down to Oklahoma at Southwest Oklahoma State, and then had the opportunity to come here to Ottawa and get close to family. So I've moved around quite a bit, been coaching this my 14th season. I've coached a lot of different positions, and just have enjoyed the journey. So,
well, both of you should have plenty of frequent flyer Myers, it sounds like, at this point, or at least know a few moving companies, I would say.
Oh, yeah.
But I'll ask you the same question, Coach Ennis. I mean, you were at Southwest Oklahoma State, which majority of those teams in the state of Oklahoma are very, very good at the Division II level. Majority of times you're playing some MIAA, some Lone Star Conference teams. I know that they're in the GAC now, but the first impressions of the talent that you've seen so far at Ottawa.
Very comparable. I mean, we've got some very talented players across the board. I think the biggest, separation of some of the talent, it might be just the depth. You're going to have some younger guys that are going to step up and be able to play early at this level, and then, the consistency, I think, is huge. Being able to provide the same amount of effort and alignment and assignment and all that consistently here at this level is sometimes a challenge, but no, it's very comparable. I wouldn't say it's any better or worse at the Division II level. I think it's very comparable, and I think that's what you get here. So,
as we kind of move into Saturday's game against Southwestern, Coach, your offense. I mean, it was 8 guys ran the ball, 10 guys had a reception. I mean, it's very difficult to game plan when you're having to deal with that amount of players. And you, as I mentioned with Coach Davis, you went on some really long drives. Your offense did, and with bringing in a new quarterback, you have a couple new players moving in. What was your thoughts from Saturday?
We got to find a way to finish. I think on stat sheets and some things from an outsider's point of view, you could say there were some things to take away from it with being the first game, but at the end of the day, we got to do a lot better. That's our philosophy, though. We're a very multiple offense. We like to keep a lot of players involved, and I think that allows us to be able to do a lot of different things. Because if you do too much, you start to become average at a lot of things. We try to play a lot of players. Keeps us being able to execute at a high level, and I thought we did execute all right. A lot better than I thought we were going to. Going into the week, I got a little nervous about our execution, but I thought we did a good job taking care of the ball, except for that crucial interception there down in the red zone. So besides that, that and penalties, the operations got to get better. But I thought the guys played well. We got to get better blocking on the perimeter, and then I think I got to do a better job of finding us to finish, whether it be third and short, putting the ball in the end zone, whether that's, I don't care how we do it. I don't care if I got to do trick play after trick play to get us in the end zone. We'll do that. Or if we got to run the ball, whatever we got to do, we got to find a way to get the ball in the end zone or through the uprights more often.
A couple players I want to talk about. Jared Daniels, first time seeing him, has the ability to really break off a run or make a catch out of the backfield. I mean, ended up with 15 rushes for 57 yards. Had a long of, I believe it was 20 yards on the day, but definitely someone Ottawa fans hadn't seen before, and you could tell that big playability is definitely there going forward.
Yeah, I think we saw, he came here in the spring and was very dynamic. I like to think a lot of things in our offense are earned, and the best thing about Jared is he's probably one of our most consistent players. I don't know if he's missed a practice. He's always there, ready to work. There's not a day that I don't see him in our meeting room, attentive, paying attention, and he knows what to do. I can trust him, and I think that showed on the field Saturday. So, I really enjoy being around him. He's a very mature kid that hopefully is going to be somebody that we can have as a rock in the run game.
One thing that I did notice is the protection from the offensive line Saturday. A lot of returners coming back, but then adding Daniel Sanchez, transfer from Southwest Oklahoma State as well. But knowing that Southwestern's two defensive ends returning all-conference players, that was one of the big things kind of going into Saturday, and I felt like the offensive line at times was really able to move guys up front and keep Austin and Billy pretty clean for the most part.
Yeah, I think it's important. It's not necessarily about hey, let's have a lot of guys to protect the quarterback to keep him safe. It's about being efficient. If they're going to bring 4, then we need to leave 5. If they're going to bring 6, we need to keep 6 in. It's making sure we're matching how many of their guys they're bringing. Instead of they're bringing 3 and we're keeping 6 in, that's not very efficient. So a lot of that goes into making sure the quarterback's educated on the protection so that he knows where he is, where he's safe and where he's not safe. And that way he can make the checks appropriately. He's got the best vision. So I think that communication, allowed us to keep the ball or keep the quarterback safe off the ground.
As you look to Saturday and have a team that gave up 105 yards to Tabor on Saturday and just 7 points, kind of your first impressions from getting to watch a little bit of film on them. I'm sure game plan's working well towards that for Saturday. But in the past, they've been very quick. They've had good skill players. Just kind of your thoughts from looking at them so far.
Yeah, we got our work cut out for us for sure. I mean, they're fast. They're very dynamic on the defense. I mean, they got some guys that will get off the quarterback. They've got a long corner that he, I don't think he'll allow to catch. Their deep safeties are they're alley players. They'll run around, and then they got a really good inside linebacker that's a sideline to sideline guy. He finds crevices to shoot gaps. So we're gonna have our work cut out for us for sure. I don't think they have as many maybe returners back on defense, but the guys that they've played with against Tabor definitely are they're aggressive. So,
coaches, when we move over to Coach Barty, first thing I got to ask you is what are we going to call Dylan Adams as the person that holds on to your belt the whole game? Have we come up with a name for that, Coach, yet?
Oh, I haven't come up with it yet. A Saint?
Yeah. Is he? Has he been tasked with trying to keep you on the sideline? Is that kind of his job at this point?
No. I certainly I get very, very animated. You're doing a lot of things during a football game, right? And you're wearing a lot of hats, and I think that Coach Adams has done a great job of helping me out, and I need to do a better job myself of staying there. But I think he does a great job.
Well, you had several things to get excited about for your defense Saturday. You know, that I mentioned with Coach Davis, the 2 interceptions. Luke Barnes threw 2 all of last year, and he's the oldest quarterback in the NAIA, I think, and a guy that just he completed almost 70% of his passes last year. But you made him uncomfortable most of the night. It seemed like what was kind of, I know going in, trying to just slow them down a little bit. But what do you feel like you executed really well on Saturday?
Yeah, I thought we executed our process and our plan really well. I think the players and myself had some nerves about whether or not the process by which we were going to do things was going to work. Right? You're coming in with not a brand new system, but certainly some things that are different. Right? And the plan had some variables to it, and the kids were able to execute it at a high level. We were able to make some checks when they checked. That's a challenging thing for those players to execute and do. And I think that's really what helped us from a plan perspective. And, at the end of the day, we knew they were explosive, particularly in the third level, RPO game. And so we're going to make them hand the ball off. And we did that. And I thought we did a pretty good job of that. We forced them to have to, until the end of the game, we really forced them to have to make some challenging throws and force into looks they didn't want to. And I think that was probably the biggest thing, and make them be patient.
When you look at kind of going into that game Saturday, the front 7 was really the big thing for me. Just kind of looking at, they had 3 all-conference linemen coming back. You had to replace the likes of Jacob Garcia and Colby Johnson in that middle. You ask your young guys to play a lot of snaps. Peyton Green, one of those freshmen that really stepped up. You had James Gladden made some big plays. I thought saw Jacob and Franco out there. And then the move of Tony Aono to defensive tackle, I felt like being able to stop the run, especially on first and second down, your young guys made some huge plays.
They really did. I think a lot of credit goes to those front 4, really, because their ability to handle the gap integrity that we ask them to do and do a really challenging job on a consistent basis, because the way in which we play defense, we want to make sure that those guys are helping protect our linebackers at the second level, and they really did a good job of that. And they were to make plays themselves.
And I definitely want to mention, it felt like your secondary got involved in the run game as well. I've noticed Kevin Wade 5 total tackles from that corner position. Kyle Reynolds ended up with 7. But it just felt like any time Jacquez Coleman, or whether it was David Roper as well, that was involved in the run game for them, there was 5 or 6 Braves right there as soon as he got that handoff on a lot of those outside runs.
Yeah, I thought so too. I think they did a really good job of kind of running the alleys of our defense, right? And playing, I think our guys really have confidence in playing within the scheme of what we're asking them to do. I think they do a good job of not playing outside of what we're asking them to do, because they have confidence in what we're doing and how we're doing it. I was really happy to see that. Right, and so they were able to make plays when those opportunities presented themselves.
As you look to Saturday, same question I posed to Coach Hennis, just thoughts of looking at Avila, and then, that they played 3 quarterbacks Saturday, so almost feel like it makes it tougher when you have to prepare for 3 compared to kind of knowing who the quarterback is in the case of Southwestern.
Yeah, I think on my end, they have a really, really, really good running back, right? Probably one of, if not the best, will play all year long. And they are explosive, in my opinion, in the run game. They are good up front. They're mean. They're nasty up front. They're going to lean on you. And they have the ability to put you into some matchup issues in the secondary with their length. And so we're going to have to do a really, really good job of matching up appropriately and really forcing them to play left-handed. Forcing them to do things they're not characteristic of, and showing them some looks maybe they aren't expecting. And I hope we can do that.
Well, coaches, appreciate you joining us. Look forward to your matchup on Saturday with Avila. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
We'll take another break. You're listening to the Nick Davis Coaches Show live from Primetime Grill.
I shouldn't have to tell you this, but the big game isn't nearly as much fun when you have to watch it on a small screen. So make a play for Ottawa's Primetime Grill. With more than 40 screens, dozens of meal options, and a full-service bar, it's the place to be, from the first pitch to the last call. And you don't have to watch alone. Check out the party rooms at Primetime Grill that you can combine and hold as many as 100 hungry fans. Take a time out from that small screen you're watching now and check out primetimegrill.com for room rental and package details. For game time, it's prime time. We're at Ottawa University on registration day for new students, asking them why they chose to attend OU.
I'm excited to meet everybody, get to know a lot of new people, and just enjoy college, have fun. It just feels like home, small campus.
I liked the atmosphere here. It wasn't too big of a college, and that's what I was wanting. So I feel like Ottawa was a great spot for me.
Find out if Ottawa University is a good place for you. Visit online at ottawa.edu. Ottawa University. Prepare for a lifetime of significance.
The roar of our engines, the pump of our heartbeats, the pedal to our metal, the sparks that ignite us, the pistons that push us, the passions that drive us. From the feelings that move us to the places that pull us on the roads that unite us. With nearly 6,000 stores and over 17,000 auto care centers, Napa has America's largest network of parts and care, here to keep you firing on all cylinders.
What you've heard about probiotics is probably wrong.
I eat yogurt, so I don't need to take a probiotic.
Probiotics? They don't really work. It's time to learn the truth about probiotics and join the Align Healthy Gut Team Up. Align has probiotics to naturally help relieve occasional bloating, gas, and abdominal discomfort. Try Align probiotics for a month and see how great a healthy gut can feel. Get $2 off your first month of Align at alignprobiotics.com.
The KOFO Travel Club is heading to Branson for a weekend getaway, December 2nd through the 4th. Crossroad Tours will make pickups in Ottawa and Lewisburg, then head to Branson for an Ozark Mountain Christmas. Check into the Grand Oaks Hotel and enjoy a 3-day whirlwind of shows, shopping, dining, and more. Per person pricing is $589 for a double, $669 for a single, with triple and quad options available. The tour includes round-trip transportation, 2 nights hotel, 5 meals, drive-through light display, shopping at Branson Craft Mall, Branson Landing, Osceola Cheese, the Amish Trading Post, and the driver gratuity. And the shows. You'll see Clay Cooper Christmas Show, 6, the Brett Family Christmas Show, and the Shepherd of the Hills Christmas Show. Insurance is available. Your 50% deposit is due September 20th. So call 785-242-1220 or email kofo@kofo.com to reserve your spot.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. I came out in the 11th grade. Nobody was embracing you. The kids were cruel. It was very difficult to be gay. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
The hard part was determining that I was going to do it, but I definitely didn't do it alone.
At age 30, with the help of her mentor, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
I have a mentor, Maria. She convinced me to continue my education
and to finish what I started to get my diploma.
Just never judges. She's a true role model. If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, go get it. You can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
You're listening to the Nick Davis Coaches Show on KOFO, live from our sponsor location, Primetime Grill. Now, back to the show. Here's your host, Casey Weeder.
Final segment from the Nick Davis Coaches Show, live from Primetime Grill, as we'll bring in Coach Nick Davis to talk about his opponent Saturday and Avila team that comes in at 1-0. We mentioned their victory over Tabor this weekend, where they gave up just 7 points. Offensively, they kind of struggled for the first couple of quarters, but able to put 41 points up. They played 3 different quarterbacks. They finally settled on their Division I transfer, which, Eli Williams played at TCU, went to Hutchinson Community College, and now found his way to Avila. So we heard Coach Partee talk a little bit about Malik Nesbit, the All-American, who's back for his 6th year, I think, now. But it's another, they really should be a top 25 team based off the talent they have.
Yeah, no, they really bring a lot back offensively in terms of their skilled players. Kind of young at the offensive line position, but the returning quarterback that started against us last year, Kyle DiOrio, and then obviously like who you talked about, Eli Williams, the transfer from TCU, and All-American running back, and my man Andrew Williams is super tall and long, and he I think he had 2 touchdowns against us last year, and he had 3 last week, so they're pretty good. And then on defense, a salty group, they blitz about 50% of the time, so they bring a lot of pressure, and their defensive coordinator is a heck of a football coach, so they do a really nice job over there.
One thing that is unique for Saturday, and you know that the energy and the emotions are going to be very high. This is a Avila team that had a teammate pass away, and Justin Barbie back on August 23rd in a car accident, and that I assume there will be events throughout the day. How do you prepare your team knowing that you're going into a very emotionally charged environment like what you'll see on Saturday?
Yeah, you know, and when that happened, I reached out to Coach and, you know, wished him and said that, you know, our team was praying for him, and we told our team right away. And there was an incident at Central Methodist around the similar time, and we talked to our team about that, about a young man getting shot and killed at Central Methodist. So, you know, it's just educating our guys as much as possible, because I don't want to be on the end of those situations. Obviously, Casey, you know, you were a part of that when you were a player with Jono, and, just trying to keep our guys as safe as possible. You know, but it's life, and obviously things happen, and you have to overcome adversity. So, they're hurting right now, and they're at Avila, and, we're praying for them, but then we also got to go out and we got to execute.
You mentioned the execution side. Your first half Saturday, just 3 penalties. They kind of creeped up in the second half, had 5 of them, and finished 8 for 60. How much of that you think was a little bit of frustration in that second half, and how much was just maybe inexperience, or that Southwestern just kind of turning on the Jets a little bit there late? Yeah,
I thought we were way more disciplined in our first game than what we were last season early in our games. We had no personal fouls. We had no unsportsmanlike penalties. They were false starts or delay of games or offensive holding or defensive pass interference, things that can kind of be correctable in terms of technique. You're not having to worry about the temperament of your players creating penalties and stuff. So I thought we were really disciplined in that, because, last year against Southwestern, I wouldn't even want to bring up the penalties, but we were sitting at 1st and 25 a lot for unsportsmanlikes. And then in the Avila game, we had a few roughing passers, and we had one in the Panhandle State game. So from that aspect, I feel like we're getting better, but obviously you don't want to get penalized. I feel that some of the calls could have been a little ticky-tack on the pass interference, and maybe it could have gone both ways, but they didn't. And again, you got one official, and he's out there trying to watch a lot of different things, so can't make every call.
This is an Avila team that has defeated Ottawa 4 straight years, had a couple really close games in 2018 and 19. And this is a team that is fairly new to the KCAC overall, and we've seen it in other sports, the rivalry starting to create, and I think that's just because of the location. Ottawa's had to play so many teams that are 2, 3, 4 hours away for so long. St. Mary is still kind of coming into their own as an athletic department and as a football program, but Avila's come in and kind of shook things up. They were a team that hadn't had a winning season in school history till they joined the KCAC. They've had 3 straight winning seasons. As a defensive coordinator last year, now as a head coach, have you started to kind of feel a little bit of that kind of develop as far as the rivalry, and do you like that sense as it adds a little bit more to the game?
Yeah, no, I think a lot of our players, these seniors have never beat them, so they desperately want to get after these guys and try their hardest to come out with a W this weekend. So I do think there's a sense of a rivalry, and a lot of the kids we recruit, they recruit as well. So, they do a heck of a job recruiting, and we're super close. So I enjoy that we will be getting on a bus, and it'll only take us about an hour to get to the game, and it's a 1 o'clock kick. So we'll be home, before it gets dark on Saturday evening, which is a nice thing when you go on a road game for a coach.
Well, you've already, your team's been on a bus once to go scrimmage Mid-American Nazarene, so about halfway up to Olathe there. But you mentioned the 1 o'clock start. That's always tough for that first day game. Avila did play against Tabor last week. It was a 1 o'clock start as well, but with no lights at the Z complex there in Kansas City. What time do you kind of start all the proceedings as far as getting the guys up and getting breakfast and that type of stuff when it comes to Saturday?
Yeah, our breakfast is at 8:30, and then we're going to load the bus at 9, and I believe we're leaving at 9:30 to head on up there, and I think MapQuest has got us there at an hour and 15 minutes if we run into a few stops or different things. It's a pretty easy trip up there, and get up there about 2.5 hours before the game, and then we'll get out on the field about 90 minutes before the game. And the kickers, get out there. We asked them to get out there at 78 minutes, but they're out there at like 120 minutes kicking already.
They were, yeah. We were actually trying to figure that out as far as, do we start the music when they're the only ones out there? We had that playlist built for y'all.
Yeah.
Like, well, the rest of the team isn't coming out till 50. Do we just start building a playlist just for your kickers?
Yeah, I think they need a kickers playlist with a bunch of songs about kicking things.
That's right.
Kicking the can and all sorts of things. They need their own little playlist.
That's right. Well, maybe we can work with Lewis and Trevor and the rest of the group and they're all young too. That's nice. That definitely helps. And then you have Adam in there as well.
Yep.
So who really recovered. He had a tough punt to start the game, but after that, the next two were fair caught. One of which was a 47-yard bomb. Special teams. That was my last question. It's always, especially week one. I'm sure the nightmares of most coaches is kind of going into it because it's really hard to be able to practice that live without concerns of people getting hurt. Special teams had just kind of the one mishap as far as the safety, but could have been a little bit of some strategy as well. But overall, I mean, you have to be super impressed with how things went with so many new pieces on special.
Yeah, Coach Barty was coaching a unit. I had took over punt, and we did something completely different than what we did last year. Coach Hennis for the first time doing KOR. I was handling our kickoff, and I actually turned that over to Coach Reese this week. Reese Schaff, our linebackers coach, because kind of how we're approaching it is on punt, return, and the kickoff, they're going to be defensive players, and we kind of help make our practice more efficient by those guys will practice with just defensive players, and they'll meet and they'll talk about that, and we'll do punt and kickoff return with just offensive players. So makes things a little bit more efficient for us in terms of our meeting time and different things. But I was pretty pleased. We had one nice kickoff return. They had a nice kickoff, where we got a guy out of the lane, but that's going to happen. And the field goal, almost perfect by an inch, about 99.9% perfect there with the field goal team. And then, we forced them to miss an extra point, so that was always good.
Well, 1 p.m. kickoff on Saturday with pregame coming to you from 12 p.m. from Bob Johnson as we will kick it off against Avila in Kansas City on Saturday. I have that call for you. We're going to wrap up the coaches show tonight. Coach Davis, thank you again for being with us, and we'll see you Saturday.
Thanks for having us, and Otter on.
To the Nick Davis Coaches Show live from Primetime Grill.
Celebrating over 70 years of information, sports, and entertainment. We are hometown proud. KOFO K279CS Ottawa.
Here's the latest from ABC News. I'm Andy Field. It's not just dangerous temperatures setting records in the West. So is California's power usage. Now they're expecting rolling blackouts.
California has never used as much power as it is using right now. The old record set in 2006 was 50,270 megawatts of power, and we have now shattered that record, and demand is rising quickly as a heat boils the state tonight, and people are coming home and turning up their AC. Many areas could have to deal with blackouts tonight. This amount of energy being used has never been seen, and it's basic math. More being used than being produced means blackouts begin